No matter the combination you are reversing, do not think about which way to turn the steering wheel. For 40 years I've seen the majority of truck drivers make this mistake. To control turning points in any vehicle combination, use your subconscious, not the conscious part of your mind. In other words, don't think about it. Hi, I'm Smiley from Self-Driven. Consider this. You have a tug of war between the conscious, which is 10%, and the subconscious, which is 90%. Which one is going to win? No matter the combination you operate, allow the subconscious to automatically control the steering. How do you do that? Excellent question. For the sake of time, let's dive straight into the how. If you want to understand the psychology as to why the strategy in this tuition works so well, I'll explain in the insights at the end. The tuition will start now and go for about 10 minutes. Insights will take about 6 minutes. This session is controlling a truck and dog trailer while reversing. Pause and look at the words that I'll be using to describe points of reference. Because there are 2 points of rotation where the angles in the combination change, there are 2 references to identify when each rotational point is aligned. A third reference will be talked about later, which will be your means to make adjustment for correction. But for now, let's look at the first reference point. The first reference point is knowing when the truck is in line with the dolly. While moving forward in a straight line, look in your right mirror. Project an imaginary line along the truck bin to the front of the truck dolly. Take note of a reference point that lines up with the front of the dolly, for example a reflector or a bolt. Do this also in the left mirror so that you can recognize straight in either mirror. This is now your reference for knowing when the dolly is in line with the truck. This is your means for skill 1, which is align the truck and dolly. The second reference is identifying when the dolly is in line with the dog trailer. While driving in a straight line, look in the mirror along the outer edge of the side wall of the dolly. Project an imaginary line to the rear dog trailer wheels. If you're in a straight line, you should only see side wall of the tyres on the rear dog trailer wheels, regardless of which mirror you look in. If you see tread on the rear dog trailer wheels, in either mirror, the dog is not in line with the dolly. This is your reference to know when the dolly is in line with the rear dog trailer wheels. This is your means for skill 2, keeping the dolly and dog trailer wheels aligned. You have 2 sets of reference points now that give you the means to identify when the combination is in a straight line. Reference 1 equals truck in line with the dolly, which is your controlling means for skill 1. Reference 2 equals dolly in line with the rear trailer wheels, which is your controlling means for skill 2. Now you have the means to identify when the 2 pivoting points in the combination are either aligned or out of alignment. As you've probably experienced, when reversing, not everything stays in line for very long. Adjustments need to be made, and therefore a third reference is needed to realign. The next step is to adjust to realign. Not as hard as you would think with this third reference and strategy I'll give you. Before we go into this next step, there are some common mistakes that people make that are really important for you to be aware of. Do not, and I repeat, do not think about which way to turn the steering wheel. Can't stress that enough. It is the biggest mistake you can make. It is poison. I'll explain why in the insights at the end. Turn the steering wheel any way you want and allow the mirror to dictate whether or not you are doing the right thing. If you turn the steering wheel the wrong way, quickly turn the opposite direction to see the desired response you want in the mirror. Allow the mirror to dictate whether you're doing the right thing or not. If you can't see the dolly in the mirror, you're looking in the wrong mirror. Okay, now for a strategy that will help you to steer the dolly in the right direction to realign. Reference 3 identifies appropriate adjustments for realignment. Whichever mirror you start to see tread on the rear trailer wheel, favour the mirror on that side and steer the truck so you can see more of the front of the dolly. In the example here, there is a mud flap attached to the front of the dolly wheels. So if you look at the bolts that hold the mud flap on, align with an extra bolt that allows you to see more of the dolly mud flap. To give insight into how much of the dolly to see, here is an analogy. If you can see one line of tread on the rear trailer wheel, see an extra bolt on the mud flap. See if the dolly is rotating in the desired direction. If not, see another bolt on the mud flap and recheck to see that the dolly is rotating as desired, and so on. If you can see the whole width of the tread, you may need to see the whole width of the mud flap in order to get the dolly to rotate in the desired direction. When the dolly is almost aligned with the rear trailer wheels, realign the truck with the dolly. So, just to recap, the first two sets of reference points tell you whether you need to adjust or not. The third reference point is the bolts on the mud flap or whatever reference you have used that help you to get the dolly to correct in the desired direction. I repeat, do not think about which way to turn the steering wheel. Let the mirror dictate whether you are doing it right or not. So reference 3 equals seeing more dolly on the side that is out of alignment and knowing what to look for to align and control. It's amazing how many skills are used for this simple third reference. Skill 1 identifies when and which mirror to use. Skill 2 identifies when adjustments need to be made. 3 identifies when the steering is correct. 4 identifies direction and speed the dolly is rotating. 5 identifies appropriate angle and control between two rotating points. And skill 6 identifies when to realign the truck after correction. Alright, let's summarise the third reference. If you see tread on the rear trailer wheel, favour that mirror. For each line of tread you see on the rear trailer wheels, see more of the mud flap and align with a new reference point. Is the dolly rotating in the desired direction? As the dolly wheels align with the rear trailer wheels, realign the truck with the dolly. Now you have it. A simple strategy that gets you to steer any combination without thinking which way to turn the steering. We have identified 1, needed knowledge, 2, what to look for, 3, how to do it. All that's left for you to do is practice to build experience and confidence. To help you with any problems that may arise while putting this strategy into practice, there is a link below that will give the option to download or print the whole strategy in a document with an analysis chart that has common problems with solutions. If this has been helpful to you, please leave some feedback in the comments. Okay, for some insights now. Now we have looked at the how to reverse without thinking about which way to turn the steering. Let's now look at the why this works and what's going on behind the scenes. When you think, you are using the 10% of your brain. When you don't think and allow images to dictate, you bypass the thinking part of your brain and tap into the subconscious's creative ability. Therefore, you very quickly get the subconscious's ability, which is 90%, to do what it knows to work without thinking about it. One of the top subconscious's hierarchy of communication is image. When you let go of other communication methods that sometimes get in the way, it opens the subconscious's creative power to do what it does best. In most of the tutorial material posted on this site, this basic understanding is used, making the strategies and presentation very effective. If you would like to program your subconscious in the strategy the tuition has laid out, you can any time of the day by just going through the following steps. Grab the summaries, visualize each step as you read it, believe you have achieved it, repetition. The more you do this, the stronger it becomes in your awareness. Well, that's all for now. Hope I can help you out with another topic sometime, and we'll see you then.